Well, hello everyone. This is Alicia Marie Belshak, and I am so happy and grateful that you are here today with me and that I'm here with you. We are here today to discuss the vision workshop that we're going to work on here today and 3 simple secrets to discovering and living your dreams. I am just thrilled to be here with you. And as we get a few people joining us, please chat in where you are from and your name and tell me something interesting about your location so we can get going here. As people get revved up, what is one thing you are grateful for in your day today? Think about that for 1 minute as we get started here. So again, my name is Alicia Marie, and I am a certified dream builder and life mastery consultant with the Life Mastery Institute. And I truly believe you've made a great decision to be here today. So let's just dive in, and you might be asking yourself, what is a life mastery consultant? And I can tell you I've had that question come up a few times for me. And here's a really great way I love to answer it. First, to understand what a life mastery consultant is, it helps to understand a little bit about who I am. And ultimately, I believe that each one of us is far more powerful and contains more potential than any circumstance, situation, or condition in our lives. If I were to ask most people what their dream life would look like, a good 80% could not even begin to describe it. Maybe that sounds like you. What I do is, as a life mastery consultant, is I help people first define what it is they would actually love to do in life, what kind of relationships they would love, what kind of health results they would love, what kind of financial results they would love, and what does that dream life really look like with all those pieces? Then I help them understand these universal principles, some of which we'll be diving in here today. And this is how life in abundance really works, so that everybody can have it. Finally, I help them cross that gap from the current life they're living to the life that they're dreaming of and would truly love. So I am thrilled to be here with you. I love what I do, and I love sharing with everyone these principles behind success. So who am I? I'm in Michigan, and I am a mom of 3. Here you see me with my family and my 3 kids, my husband, and my in-laws. I also am an avid science fiction kind of person, reader, and movies and all things Star Wars and Star Trek and whatnot. So there we are having some fun with my family. We are a little bit of geeks that way, and it's a great fun thing to do together. I'm also a professional writer, and I have done that my whole life professionally since I was 25, and I have a master's degree in journalism that helps me put those ideas together for the research part as well. So I love to tell stories and tell people stories and bring together how it is we're all thinking about the world through our stories. So I also have a science degree, so neuroscience and brain science and how the world works is something I am genuinely interested in. And there you see me with my alma mater at Aquinas College in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and our mascot there. So does this sound familiar? Does this sound like you? Are you wondering what your dream might be? Is it right for you? Are you struggling to head in a new direction? Do you ever feel like something's just missing? Are you wondering, why haven't I gotten there yet? And if you're like me, it's possible you are also asking, is there something wrong with me? Why is everyone else getting success, or the relationships, or the career that And what's wrong with me that I'm not where I would love to be? And I feel like I have to play catch up. So if that sounds familiar, if you feel frustrated and restless because you know you could be doing so much more, living a bigger life, then you are in the right place here with me today. If your dream seems out of reach right now, whether it's because you've been working towards it with limited success, start and stop, procrastination, things like that, or because you're just not sure if you're even going in the right direction, then this here today is for you. If you're a person who wonders what the heck your dream might be and you don't want to make the wrong decision, if you are a person who's been very successful in one area of your life, but you feel like one part of your life is ahead of another part, that you got to play some catch up in some other areas, they're just not gelling together, then I guarantee this session is for you. You answered the invitation to spend some time here today, opening the doors to your dreams and unlocking what it is that might be holding you back and what you might do to move forward. So congratulations. Good for you. You are a tip of the arrow person. So many people go through life without ever opening this door and finding out what they really are possible of accomplishing, achieving, and how they want to be and feel in the world. So congratulations. You made a great decision to be here. My intention for you today is that you leave knowing 3 tools that can help you really achieve your goals and dreams even faster than you might have imagined. That you'll have greater clarity on what those dreams are, and that you'll feel even more confident in the power that lives within you to achieve your goals and dreams. Now, to do this, we have to take the first step with a little story. So there was this mother mouse, and she was leading her 3 children through the house and turning a corner. And all of a sudden, they come around that corner and they see a cat, a great big cat. The cat sees them and is about to attack. The mother mouse says to herself, I don't know what to do here. It's peril, it's danger. Her, fight or flight instincts are kicking in. And then all of a sudden, she remembers her training and she stands up and in a loud voice says, "Woof, woof." That cat got scared and ran off. And then the mother mouse turns to her little babies and she said, now children, remember this day. This is an important lesson. There is power in learning more than one language. I love that story because we don't expect the mouse to say ruff, ruff in the first place, but this is a great example of what exactly we're kind of doing here today. We're going to be looking at the language of success. And there is a pattern, a system, a way of doing things that creates the results you want. So the question is, do you speak success? Do you have that other language built into your way of being and thinking and working in the world? Once you understand what that language is, you can apply it to any area of life that you want to improve. Whether you have success already and you would love even more, whether you're feeling unfulfilled and would love to change things, do a 180-degree switch and go in a whole new different direction, this language of success is so essential to understanding. These are the universal principles by which the world operates. So, raise your hand if you can, even if you're in the room by yourself, or if you want to chat into the chat box there, what it is, if this is you. But listen, practice and think about this. Is there some area of your life that you currently want to improve? Yeah, a lot of people. Fantastic. That, I would be surprised if those of you who aren't raising your hand right now don't have something you would love to improve. You want to know how I know? Because you're breathing. We all have something that isn't perfect. So, Let me ask you another question. How many of you have ever achieved a goal or a dream? Go ahead and raise that hand again, even if you're all by yourself. Put it in the chat box. Tell me, give me some feedback. Yep. Isn't that interesting? I'm seeing lots of hands still up. Yeah. You have achieved success in your life. See, that proves the point. You are far more capable than you know. What I've learned during the many opportunities I've had speaking to different groups, coaching clients, and just working with people is that our dreams and our goals are often born out of our challenges, out of experiencing current pain. If we don't have those fires and trials by fire to get us toughened up, so to speak, in the test our mettle, we don't really know what more is possible for ourselves. So how many of you have a challenge you are currently experiencing, some area of life that's causing you pain, perhaps in your career or in a relationship, perhaps in your wealth, or with the amount of money you have, with a lack of free time? Keep your hands up or put them back up. Put them in the chat box here. Tell me I'm in. Tell me it's me. If you have a problem you really would love to have solved. Absolutely. More than 90% of the hands are up here. And I know that from experience. That makes sense because you're breathing. There's going to be a problem. Life asks us to rise to the occasion. We live in a universe that speaks our dreams and goals to us through two essential growth signals. As long as we're listening, we will have the signs and signals that will help us. There will always be challenges. And those two growth signals are what we're paying attention to, our longings or our discontent. Now, longing and discontent are really two sides of the same coin. You can have discontent showing up in a range of ways: frustration, aggravation, disheartened, disappointed, constraint, depression. And our longings can speak to us in wishful tones. And wouldn't it be nice if, and someday that. But if we listen, we're learning that there's something there for us. And that feeling of longing for something we haven't created yet, that feeling of discontent with our current circumstances, these are the feelings that are what spark us to grow. Because ultimately, if we are to change our life or any area of it, we are often pushed by our pain until we are pulled by our vision. And that was something that Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith came to a revelation and shared with his group. So yes, are you being pushed by your pain? Are you being pulled by a vision? These are two energies that can take us to where we want, and they are essential for creating new results in our life. You have to have the pain of your problem and the burning desire for what it is you would love, what it is you want. So let me tell you a little story about myself. If you look there on the far right-hand side in the blue dress, that's me. That's me at about, I would say 6 years old. I was in kindergarten. And that man there is my dad, and along with my two sisters. My dad passed away last year. And while it has been a challenge grieving for him, I also am incredibly grateful for the lessons that I have learned by being his daughter, and in his life and in his death. I have learned so many things, and I realized before he died that there were challenges in our relationship that I was not happy with. I felt constrained. I felt many times that he was trying to control my life or take over my life or had particular whims and wants, and things had to be his way. And as any good father, I realize now he was just probably looking out for me and looking out for his own needs, which may have been greater than he was able to emotionally satisfy. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. Have you ever experienced a challenging relationship with someone you love, someone you care about perhaps, maybe someone at work, a boss, someone you have to deal with on a regular basis, and there just seems to be a communication breakdown or some sort of friction that you just aggravates you and feels very much like it's happening to you, like a victim for yourself, and you don't know what to do about it. Well, that was my relationship with my dad. As much as I loved him, I was his firstborn. And he would, throughout my life, say, "You made me a father." And I took great offense to this because I didn't do anything. I just showed up on the scene. But the truth is, from his perspective, I did make him a father. It was his way of saying, there was a line in the sand moment that changed when you came into the world, Alicia Marie, and I became a father, and life was never the same again. Have you ever had a moment like that where life just changed because of some event, some circumstance, something? It could have been a birth of a child, which most of the time seems like a good thing, but can dramatically change your whole living arrangement and the way you do things and the way you have to think and be. Maybe it was the death of somebody. Maybe it was a job loss or a diagnosis or just some moment when you had a realization and everything shifted and nothing was the same again. I'm sure that's what my birth was like for my dad. And from my perspective, I didn't know how to handle this as a child, just growing up and even into my teen years and young adulthood. I just was me. I just was trying to grow and express and be who I could be. And even in the deepest of challenges with my dad, I'm grateful that I came to these conclusions before he passed away. And I did so because of this work, because of learning these principles and working through my own understanding, shifting my perspective, and working my awareness upwards instead of downwards into victimhood. I raised my awareness to the point of view that all things are connected and there's something here trying to express itself if I can but understand it. So before he died, I made a phone call to him on my birthday. I didn't know he was going to pass away 6 weeks later. He was 80. I was half his age. It was a moment in life where we had both waited for. I'd heard about it my whole life. Someday I'll be 80 and you'll be 40 and you'll be half your age. And it was like a magical little numerological milestone. So I called him and I told him what I had come to with these conclusions, as I just said to you, that I realize now that despite how much it gave me angst and created friction in our relationship, and I felt like he was putting this thing on me, this assignment that I made him a father and was somehow responsible, that it was just his way of saying, I love you and that you matter to me. And this was a big shift in my life. And he may have been doing it in an unskillful manner, but I understood it now. And I did say that I loved him and that he did say he was proud of me. And there was a softening in that relationship and a moving forward. And I guarantee it was the most beautiful thing for me personally and for our relationship. And I am very grateful for that moment, especially knowing now that he's gone. I'm able to have that conclusion, even though there's a part of me that would love to know where that relationship could have gone. But I really am my father's daughter, and even though I'm also my mother's daughter, and she passed away when I was 25 years old, 10 days after my wedding. So now I am on my own, so to speak, as a fully fledged grown-up, and I look back and I'm grateful. My dad gave me the cosmology that we are part of this grander universe. He gave me my love for my science. He gave me the ideas of and massive vocabulary, and so fostered my writing in a lot of ways and my exploration of what it is that makes people tick and how this world works. Which leads me to why we're all here today. Because I spent years feeling this way in my life. Oh, yes. How do you feel? Oh, I'm fine. And really that meant deep down inside, I'm feeling betrayed. I'm feeling lost. I'm feeling angry, unloved, abandoned and confused, worthless, defeated, like I'm a failure, depressed, unhappy, trapped, constricted, broken, used, maybe even hated. Those are some strong words to use. And yet so many times when we answer the question, how are you doing today? We answer automatically, fine. And are we? Are we really fine? There were years, because of my relationship with my father and the ramifications of that, and being stuck in a few jobs or feeling stuck in a few jobs that I didn't really love, I answered this. I put on the mask and I said, I'm fine. And I knew deep down it was a lie. I didn't know what to do about it, and I didn't know what could be better, but it is a testament that the universe is always sending us signs and signals. I came across this. It's actually a package of curtains that was for sale in the store, and it was so ironic to me, and it made me laugh, and also kind of said something to me at the time. And so I took a picture of it, and now I use it. But here it is, a message from the universe in a way. This curtain set's named Alicia, and it's saying, hey, true living, are you living your true life? And it could be your last chance. Get it right. We don't live forever. We don't know when our last day will be. There's many pieces to put together to create this wonderful set of our life. And there's going to be tears and maybe some swagger along the way. But ultimately, it is easy to care for. And you and your dreams are washable, and you can rinse and repeat and try again. It's an iconic image to me now that I keep this and remind myself every day that there is more to live, and are we living truly in the most authentic way? So that's a little bit about me and my story. So, and I want to ask you, what's your dream? How do you feel when you imagine that becoming a reality? Today, I am just honored and privileged to work with people on a regular basis, whether it's in a group setting or in a workshop or in one-on-one coaching. And I work with these concepts of dream building. What does it mean to be a dream builder? There are 10 principles that we use in the program to skyrocket people to even more success, whether that's in their health or their relationships, their career, or their time and money freedom. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 of those principles that you can apply right now to help you create a life you would really love living. So if you're in for the possibility of creating something even more amazing in your life, something new and different that you're looking forward to, touch your heart right now and say, I'm in, because I'm in with you. And if you just said I'm in, does that mean from this moment on all your dreams will come true? Of course not, but it is the first step to commit. So go ahead, put your hands on your heart and say with me, I'm in. Because here's my promise to you. I will give you everything I can in the next 30 minutes. We have maybe a little more time together, but at the very least, at the end of this presentation, many of you will probably want to take this information further and integrate it into your life in a more holistic way. And so I do have a special gift that I would love to offer anyone who stays to the end of this presentation. So now let's dive in a little bit more. There's 3 pillars of success. You can think of these as secrets to success. One is having somebody along with you who's been there, done that, has the success that you want, truly cares about you and your results, and is able to give you that guidance that helps steer you in the right direction quicker and faster. For me, I didn't know it until 15 years later, but my mom had been that person for me in my life. And when she died after my wedding, when I was 25, the world was suddenly different and scary, and I was full of anxiety, and it was like I lost my way and I didn't know who I was, why I existed, what my purpose was. Up until that point, I never questioned it. I just went and did things. I came up with dreams and ideas, and I did them. And my mom asked me once, how can you do this? How can you go far away for your master's degree and live in this big city? And I was living in New York City at the time. How can you do that? And honestly, until she asked me that question, it never occurred to me not to do it. And it wasn't until years and years and years later that I realized that she had been a mentor in my life. She was somebody who asked me questions, guided me, encouraged me, and in many ways was the wind beneath my wings. And my dad may have given me a lot of other skills and ideas and concepts, but she was that person that kept me on the straight and narrow, moving forward and confidently going in the direction of my dreams. And it didn't occur to me to ask for someone like that again in my life until many, many years later when I realized that's what was missing. I was missing a mentor. So having a mentor is a crucial part of success. Having a great vision, something that compels you, something you're working towards, something that may be bigger than you can imagine actually accomplishing on your own. Not just a great goal, but a real vision, a real dream that says this is going to make an impact, something that gives you purpose and mission and drives you forward. This is important. And this is what we're going to be partly working on today to help you get unstuck. And there's the need for structure. This workshop, this call today is a structure. A conversation is a structure. A program is a structure. Working with another person in a particular fashion is a structure. But whatever it is you do to give yourself structure, do it, because these things together form the triangle of success. You put yourself in the center of this, and I guarantee you will grow beyond what you think is possible and achieve more and see and do and be and have even more. So let's talk about what it is we have here. We have basically 4 quadrants that we can look at our life. And we want to expand the awareness for success in the areas that matter to you. There are basically these 4 domains in which we experience results already. Whether you do anything now or to keep doing the same thing or change it, I guarantee you have the blessing of breathing and living for another 365 days, and there will be results in these areas of relationships, your health and well-being, your vocation, which is your work in the world, and how you spend your freedom around time and money. Every one of us has results in these areas already. The results you're getting in life in these areas are a perfect reflection of your awareness in these areas. So let's expand your awareness together by studying the pattern that creates success. It's what I call the results formula. So let's take a look. It goes like this. Your thoughts cause your feelings. There's a whole biochemical process where they actually provide a little bit of feedback. So there we go. Imagine the thought, I've lost my wallet. What happens when you think that thought? I've lost my wallet. Do you feel a little panic, a little fear, a little stress? I do. Then when you think the thought, oh, that's right, it's in my pants or my jacket pocket, and you check and it's there, what happens? Now you're thinking the thought, I found my wallet. You feel relieved, right? Imagine the thought, I've got a hot date for Friday night. What happens to you now? What do you think now? What do you feel? Excited? Curious? Thrilled? When you think thoughts that are limiting, you will have limited feelings. You will feel limited and constrained. When you think thoughts that are expansive, thoughts that are confident, you will feel more confident. Your thoughts literally affect your physiology. So once we're in this kind of mindset about thoughts and feelings, we can realize that the way we're feeling oftentimes leads to how we are acting. Your feelings are expressed as actions, whether that's an emotional reaction or I feel motivated. I'm going to accomplish something. I'm going to do the phone call. I'm going to pick up the newspaper and check out the ads or whatever it is that you're doing. When you feel confident or energized, you take different action than when you're feeling depressed or frustrated or sad. Does that make sense? So we have our actions, and those actions lead to the very results that we are experiencing. Or the lack of action can also create those results. So if you follow me here, your thoughts cause your feelings cause your actions, and your actions cause your results. It's literally a cause and effect kind of relationship. This is the law of cause and effect, as a matter of fact. Yet most people really don't get this. Most people look at their results, they look at their circumstances, their conditions, their situation, and they call those their causes. Actually, another way of looking at it would be, I have these results in my life, I'm not happy with my bank account, I feel like I can't pay my bills, I'm not happy with my relationship, I'm single, I can't find a man, whatever it is. And so now, how are we going to be feeling when we look at our results that way? Well, I'll tell you what. We call them causes. I can't start a new career because I'm too old, or because I'd lose all my benefits. I can't find the love of my life because I'm not young enough, thin enough, attractive enough. I can't because. The true cause of our results is right here, right inside our mind. Your thoughts are the cause of everything you've experienced up until now. Your results are what you have been thinking. So if you want to know what you've been thinking, just take a look at your results, because your results never lie. If you want to create new results in life, you must begin by looking at your thinking, where your thinking comes from, and how your mind creates a thought. Some people resist this concept. They don't like that their life is a result of their own thinking, yet it's absolutely true. And when we take responsibility for our own experience, we uncover the first secret of dream building. We are able to then think about what we would love and design a dream. You have to think differently in order to be, do, and have something new in your life. So, what's principle number 1? Designing your dream. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go do that, because that is what the world needs. People who have come alive. Howard Thurman said that. And for those of you who don't know who he is, he was the mentor and preacher in his own right, the mentor of Martin Luther King Jr. Tony Robbins, he says, setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. I love that quote too. So what do you really want? What would you love to have in your life? We have power when we get clear about what that is. So write this down. Clarity is power. Without a clearly defined blueprint, you can't build your dream. Just like you must have a clear blueprint when you go to build a house. And the same is true with your dream. When you become clear on what you really want in life, you begin to see opportunities and circumstances and resources that you would have otherwise missed. You find support that you didn't see or even knew was there. So let's design the blueprint of your dream. Let's make it crystal clear. Sound good? Consider the 4 domains of life that we went over earlier. Health and well-being, your love and relationships, your vocation or work in the world, and how you're spending your time and money, freedom. For our purposes today, choose one area that you would love to improve the most. One area that is calling to you for maybe the most challenge or pain right now. Now, you got it? Pick it up, pick one out. All right. Imagine like you did when you were a kid, where nothing is impossible. No dream was out of reach. I want to invite you to put on that fun imagination and just dream big. Notice that it is very different compared to what do I think I can do. What does my circumstance or situation say I can do? What do other people say or think I should do? For a moment, just lean into the question, what would I love in this area of my life? I'm going to take you into a process shortly here as we settle into what would I love here. And this process is called the time machine. That's right. We're going to imagine that you are getting into a time machine and traveling 3 years into the future. And 3 years from now, everything you wanted, everything that you could possibly want in this area has completely worked out. All right. Now, take your pen and sheet of paper, and across the top of your page, write, I am so happy and grateful now that. All right. In a moment, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write down what you would love in this area of life. And I would like to invite you to suspend any urge to find out how the result is going to happen right now. This is simply what would you love, as if someone gave you a magic wand and you could just wave it and create exactly what you wanted. So go big, dream big here. All right, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine it's 3 years from now and all the challenges are solved. Consider what you would really love for your life, what great things are occurring. They're happening right now. You can't fail. It's absolutely going to happen, guaranteed. What would you love to be doing? What experiences are you having? Who are you with? See it. How does it feel? Feel it. All right. Now open your eyes and take 2 minutes, and we're going to write as much as you can, painting this beautiful picture of the life you're imagining. So go ahead. What would I love? Keep writing. You're doing great. All right. About 40 more seconds. What would you really love in your life as you're writing? Consider what else you could add to this. Okay. 30 more seconds, 15 seconds. Okay. Kind of wrap up your thoughts there. and put your pens down. To be continued. All right, go ahead and chat in the chat box if you'd like a couple of things that you came up with in your writing here, and just share that with us for later to review. Nicely done. We're on our way. Absolutely. This is the beginning of designing your life, the life that you would really love. I know you might not know how this dream is going to come or whatever you wrote down. Like, it might not even make sense yet, but that's okay for right now. Great dream builders are willing to suspend the need to know the how in the beginning of the process. So don't worry, you will get there. But now that you have the clearly defined start of a dream, doesn't it feel better? Doesn't it feel like you're moving forward? You are. Let's move on to principle number 2. Now that you have a dream, it's necessary to make a decision for your dream. So, best-selling author and renowned life coach Bob Proctor. Oh yes, let's do this first. Can you read this? According to research at Stanford University, it doesn't matter what order the letters are in a word are. The only important thing is that the first and the last letter be in the right place. This is because the human mind does not read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. So there's only 2 things you need to know: where you are now and where you want to go, which is why having your vision and your dream is so important. And now that you have that, you can make that next leap that Bob Proctor was talking about. He says there's a single mental move you can make, which in a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter, and it could literally propel you down the path to incredible success. We have a magic name. We have a name for this magic mental activity. It is called a decision. You must make a firm decision for what it is you want before you'll ever be able to bring your dream into reality. No new process can begin, no new path can be forged until a decision has been made. Once you make a firm decision, a commitment, even in the absence of perfect conditions, a whole manner of things begin to occur and rush to your aid for the fulfillment of that decision. It really is a powerful thing. So there was a man once who wanted to cash his check at the bank. And he went into the bank and asked for his money. And the teller said, well, that's great, sir. I'm happy to do that for you. I need you to sign your check and I will give you the money. And the man was like, whoa, wait a second. I have to sign the check and give it to you and then you'll give me the money? What if you don't give me the money? I want you to give me the money first. I don't know. I don't really trust this system. He's just not certain. So the teller says, no. Sir, that's not how it works. You sign the check and then give it to me and then I give you the money. And after quite a bit of back and forth, finally the teller says, I'm sorry, sir, I'm not going to be able to help you. You're going to have to leave. So the man goes down the street, goes to a second bank and does the same thing. Wants to cash his check, won't sign it and turn it over, needs his money first, doesn't trust the process. And the teller there says, I'm not going to be able to help you. Go to the next bank. So he does. And at the third bank, this goes on for a while, and the young man finally on the other side of the desk has had enough, and he reaches under his desk, pulls out a foam rubber mallet and just kind of bonks him on the head. And the man is so startled. The teller says, just sign the check. And the man's like, okay, and he just signs the check, gets his money. He has the result he wanted. And he goes to that first bank and he's so pleased as punch and says, okay, look, I got my money at the other bank. They gave me my money. And the teller there says, well, Good. I'm glad you got your money. And I'm pretty sure that down there at the other bank, you had to sign the check first and then get out your money. And the man stopped and thought about it. And he said, well, now that you mention it, I did. But, no one had ever explained it to me the way that person did. So, of course, we laugh at a man who would do that. But if we want to have our dream, we kind of do that sometimes. We say, oh, just give me my dream. I'm not really willing to commit. I'm not willing to sign my name and put my life energy, my life force behind this. But if we want to have our dream, we have to be willing to sign our name to our desires and take action in the absence of knowing all the steps. We need to push pause on how and just focus on the what and take action one thing at a time. So let me tell you a story of Judy, because it's a great illustration of how baby steps, when taken sequentially, can actually move us all the way up the mountain. One baby step at a time can take you all the way up Mount Everest. Now, Judy's story doesn't involve mountain climbing, but let's think about her story for a minute here. She was a young single mom, and she'd been working with these principles after a bit of time because she just felt stuck. She didn't have a lot of education. She was working at a fast food restaurant during the day. She did alterations as a seamstress at night. And she lived in a tiny one-bedroom apartment with 2 children. And her dream was to have a home for her family, a real home. I'm pretty sure her situation is most likely not that different from yours. She may have different variables and circumstances, but the steps she took are exactly what you can take to achieve your dream, no matter how big it is. Because one day, Judy did come across a program kind of like the one you're in today, where she was able to start studying these principles of success. She decided that if she was ever going to change her life, she needed more support. And so she took a huge leap and decided to make a decision for her dream and enrolled in the Dream Builder program. This was a tough thing for her to do, especially with her current finances. But she got up the courage and decided to change her life. She told her coach her dream was to own her own home, but she only had $500 for a month for rent. She believed there was no way she would ever be able to even rent a house for $500 a month. Her coach asked her to describe the house she dreamt of, but Judy had difficulty even doing that. It was a struggle, but eventually Judy did come up with a description of her dream house. Whenever she told her coach exactly what she wanted, she would say, but I only have $500 a month. I can never get it. It's impossible. Knowing how dreams can come true and how one step can lead to another all the way up to the result at the top, that pinnacle moment, her coach said to Judy, well, now that you have a mental picture of the house, why don't you go out and look for it? Judy thought this was absolutely crazy and told her coach, I've only got $500 a month, remember? I can't go get a house for $500 a month, but the coach wasn't interested in that part. She just encouraged her to go look anyway. After 2 weeks, Judy called back and said, I found my dream house. And even though she was excited, she also added, sadly, but it's $900 a month for rent, and there's no way I can afford it. Now, if Judy had been on her own, that would have been the end of it, probably. And she would, to this day, probably still be living in a one-bedroom tiny apartment. But she had support. And her coach said to her, because she knew the language of success and the mindset and questions to ask, the stuff that we're talking about here today, she said, Judy, if you didn't know it was impossible and you really thought there was a chance, what would you do? At first, Judy couldn't accept this idea, but after a week or so, she thought, okay, What would I do if I thought it was possible? And she got the answer. Intuitively, she knew she would write a letter to the owner and explain the situation. In her letter, Judy described 40 things she would personally do to improve the home if the owner would provide the materials and if she could rent for $500 a month. 3 weeks later, she got a call from the owner, and he said, I don't know why I'm doing this, but just something in your letter wouldn't leave me alone. Here's the deal. You sign a contract outlining what you'll do every quarter, and I'll give you the house for 1 year at $500 a month. Judy was so excited, she immediately called her coach and told her with a giant smile on her face, we're moving in 30 days. I have my dream home. Now, isn't that a wonderful story? Let's give Judy a big high five wherever she is right now, energetically, because the story doesn't really end there. Over the course of the year that Judy did everything she promised for the owner of the house, and she continued working with her coach, she learned so many things and lived into that new way of being, that within 3 years, Judy not only had fixed up the home, but she now owned the home. Her dream really had come true, and she had learned a whole new way of thinking thanks to being part of the study of these principles. That new way of thinking also got her a new career. She started her own home-based business. She got to spend more time with her children, and her income soared. Her whole life had a new meaning. So what about you? What about your dreams? It starts with making a decision. It starts by saying to yourself today that I am going after my dream. Today is the day. I say no to the doubts and all the reasons that it won't work out, and I say yes to the possibilities and opportunities. Today's the day. Today's the day you're going to suspend disbelief in the conditions that have held power over you up until now. You can say instead, I believe in the power breathing me. I have my slides here are stuck. Hold on one second. Yep. Okay, thanks. So yeah, believe in the power within you. You can really do this. I really believe that. And incredible success really begins with this moment now, this decision of how you will go forward. And that brings us to dream building principle number 3, how you can handle your fear. Befriending your fear. What I mean by befriending your fear is doing the thing you really want to do, even when fear rises up and tries to stop you, because it will. Make fear your friend instead. The value of your decisions depends entirely upon the courage you have to make them. And Napoleon Hill, from Think and Grow Rich, studied all the wealthy and successful people at the time, and he learned so much about that at the turn of the century, what it takes to be successful, and he learned the value of decisions. So remember this, just like Judy learned, the problem is never in the problem. The problem is always in the thinking about the problem. And fear will do that to us. Great dream building requires the ability to suspend the how and take action in the absence of all the answers. When we decide for a dream, there is a part of us that says yes, and there's another part of us that rises up and says, oh, what if I fail? Yeah, right, that's not going to happen. Or that voice inside you that might say, well, how are you going to do that? You've never done that before. Who do you really think you are? You don't have what it takes. What is that voice? You know, that's the voice of fear. It's the part of you that wants to keep things the way it is. Often fear disguises itself as practicality. Fear won't say, I'm here to kill your dreams. It's too smart for that. It will say, I'm here to keep you safe. I'm here to make sure you have never have to experience that level of pain or suffering or sorrow again. I'm here to make sure you don't get embarrassed. It's the voice that says, now is not a good time. Wait until later. You don't have the money for that. That's irresponsible. You don't have the experience or credentials. Who are you to go after this idea or dream? And ultimately, what if you fail? Okay, so what if you fail? How many of us had a failure in life? Raise your hand in your room or put it up in the chat there. Who's had a failure? Who's fallen down a few times? I have. We all have. Lots of hands going up here. When we were babies, we all started out as not being able to walk. As a non-walker, you also rose up and then you fell down. But what did you do next? You rose up again and you fell down again. When you were learning to walk, never once did you think to yourself, well, that's it. I guess I'm not meant to be a walker. Nope. You rose up and kept going. You had people there supporting and encouraging you. And finally, you became a walker. There's not one of us today who has come to adulthood and not learn to walk unless we've had some disability or something like that that's impaired us. But it's kind of funny that something happens when we become adults. We stop giving ourselves permission to fail, to fall down. And if we do fall down in business or life or careers, we just say, I guess I'm not meant to be a business owner. I'm not meant to be a wealthy, successful professional. Or I guess I'm not, God doesn't have it in the cards for me to have a good relationship or ever meet the love of my life. And that's not the truth. That's the voice of fear, doubt, and worry talking to us. We must befriend our fear in order to give ourselves permission to fail enough, just like the baby learning to walk. We have to fail enough in order to succeed. So often we see super successful people and we don't ever consider where they really started and how many failures they really had. Great dream builders are always willing to fail and rise again. They fail and they try again. Consider TV star Oprah Winfrey. She was fired by executives on TV, told that she was not fit for TV. But she rose up and continued going and now has her own media empire. Consider Academy Award-winning movie director Steven Spielberg. He was rejected from film school 3 times. But he rose up and he kept going. Think about Walt Disney. He was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. What if Walt Disney had actually believed in that failure? What if he brought that idea and bought into it, that he lacked the imagination and had no original ideas? We would never have received the blessing of all those amazing Disney films and the magical amusement parks that I have taken my very own children to. So fear and failure for all these people and many more are the prerequisites for achieving great dreams. They're actually required. So when the voice of doubt questions you and asks, what if you fail? Let your response be, bring it on. I might fail, but if I do, I will rise up and I will keep going to succeed. So what do? You reconnect to your dream. We give power to the part of us that wants to move forward. When we're hearing that voice that says, I want to stay the same, I'm going to keep you stuck, I don't want to move forward, it's going to be sneaky and disguise itself as delay or distraction or fear. But when we reconnect to our dream, And this is a process that I take people through as clients through the whole Dream Builder program. For our purposes today, I'm going to give you one thing you can do. And that is, what is one action I could take to move in the direction of my dream? Believe in yourself and know that you are all that you are. Know that there is something inside of you that is greater than any obstacle. You are the hero of your own story. Bring it on. The choices and actions we take today are ultimately who we become tomorrow. So what is one action you can take right now, this week, today, tomorrow, that could move you in the direction of the dream you wrote down earlier? There is absolutely some action that you can take to start moving forward toward the life you would really love. So what is that action step for you? Make sure to write it down, at least one action step, no matter how small it may seem. And then put a date. When are you going to take that action? When are you going to do that thing by? Progress is far more important than perfection. So even taking the smallest step forward towards your dream will make a difference. Like when Judy went looking for that house, she had no reason to think she could afford a house, but she went and looked anyway. The key is to do what you can with what you have right where you are. The choices and the actions you make are ultimately who you become tomorrow. So there you have it. Those are just 3 of the 10 steps in the Dream Builder program. I hope they were helpful for you. If you can put something in the comments about that, that would be great. Yeah? Helpful? Yeah. Mind-blowing. Absolutely. So you are ready to take the leap. I know that there's more calling you, whatever that is, whether it's a better relationship, a new relationship, finding a job, a career, a purpose, a mission, working towards something bigger, having an abundant bank account. There's more calling you. So here's what we covered today. We covered the principle of designing your dream, deciding for your dream, and befriending your dream. And we also talked about the results formula and how our thoughts become ultimately the results in our life because through action and how we feel. And as promised, because you stayed to the end, I do have a powerful gift for you, and then we'll close with one more powerful thought. But first, remember that there is a language in this recap here. There is a language to success, a pattern to success, and when you use it, your results will naturally increase. You learn these principles, and they help you get clearer with your blueprint so you have more power to your vision. We know that now that you have to decide for the thing that you want, even in the absence of knowing how, like Judy did. And fear's not going to go away, so we have to learn to befriend it. And we see now how fear and failure are really required for greatness ultimately, and it's about shifting the way we look and feel about it. So back to this gift. It's a very special gift for those of you who are truly ready to take some action on this dream of yours. You have a baby vision that's just beginning. What I love to do is to carve out some time each week to help people clarify that vision and determine where they are now, where they would love to go, and what this gap in between is. These strategy sessions, as I like to call them, are about an hour on the phone or by Skype where we get together and we clearly outline where it is you are and what you're going to do next and how we're going to get to the place that ultimately will shift you towards your dream. It's a one-on-one session, and it's valued at $250. It's ideal for anyone who's ready to invest in achieving their dreams and have a really big shift happen for them. This is your next step. And this strategy session with me is absolutely complimentary, no charge, 100% free, my gift to you for being here and being invested in making your dream possible. I love to see people succeed. This is my purpose and calling in life, is to work with these principles, bring my understanding of neuroscience and the way the world works, and ask the right questions to help you figure out what your next step is. I have about 10 of these strategy sessions available in the next few weeks. So what I would invite you to do, is this sounds lovely to you and what you would really love to move you forward and get you unstuck, move you in a big way, go to mylifemastery.youcanbook.me, and there you will see my online calendar. You will be able to pick a time that works for you, and an email will be sent to you automatically that tells you when and where to call in, and there'll be a link in there that you'll cut and paste into your browser to fill out a strategy session questionnaire to help me and you get laser focused on the best use of our time for really honing in and clarifying your vision and getting the most out of this strategy session. So I love to give these out. It is 100% complimentary, free, just for being here today and for taking the next step towards your dream. Because I believe you can make a difference in this world just by bringing your gifts and talents to it. So this is my gift for you. And I'm going to remind you one more time here as we wrap up that mentorship is really, really important. Having that support. When you call mylifemastery.youcanbook.me, you are getting that support that you need. You're getting someone who has expertise and understanding, who's been there in the trenches and working things through right along with you. You're honing and crafting your vision. You're getting clarity. And you're having a structure in that phone call, a process that I guide you through in order to really bring about success. And remember what I said earlier? When you put yourself in a structure like that, you will grow. You will become bigger than the problem, and your thinking will change. So make sure you do that before we wrap up here. Write this down. Put it in your web browser right now. mylifemastery.youcanbook.me, and pick a time that works for you, and we'll have some great fun together figuring out where you are, where you really want to go, and how we can get you there. You'll know exactly what your next steps are. Because just like Judy once, you're sitting right at the beginning of your dream. You might only think you have $500 possible and making it impossible. Like Judy, never in 100 years could she imagine that in a few short months she would own a house. Not to a tiny apartment, but a house. And in 1,000 years, could Judy ever have imagined that she would have owned that home in just 3 years? And yet her dream came true. She became a dream builder, and so can you. So as we wrap up and you go about your day, remember that door we said we would unlock? It's here for you, ready to walk through. Know that what's on the inside of you is far, far greater than any challenge you're facing. You have incredible power within you. And this is your moment. This is your day. We only have now. This is your day to take bold action. And know, absolutely without a shadow of a doubt, I believe you can do what it is you're envisioning. And I'm here cheering you on. Because the wise philosopher Goethe once said, at the moment of commitment, the universe conspires to assist you. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius and power and magic in it. It's your time. Make that commitment. Let me help you achieve your dream and be a dream builder. I'll see you on a strategy call real soon. mylifemastery.youcanbook.me. I'm so glad you were here. Thank you so much for being a part of this vision workshop and discovering the 3 simple secrets to discovering and living your dreams. I am looking forward to seeing you and talking to you soon on a personal one-on-one call. mylifemastery.youcanbook.me. mylifemastery.youcanbook.me. Go ahead. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Thanks very much. Have a great day. It's your life. Make it amazing.